Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced has more secret items hidden around the map than you probably think. From weapons like some of the best legendary swords and pistols, plus trinkets and ship upgrades that I think a lot of people won't find on their own. The Stormrunner pendant, which is the secret Red Bull trinket, which increases the amount of health that you get whenever you heal, is probably the most secret item in the game. You can find it just off of the coast of Nassau at about 615 or 614 767 for the coordinates. When you come here, you'll realize you're just in the middle of the ocean, and all you have to do is dive straight down where you should find some coral and a little reef type of thing, and the Red Bull trinket or Stormrunner pendant will just be sitting there on the ocean floor, not in a chest, and using Observe will not give that little white blip. You've got to actually swim in this exact location to find it. And then we have a rare pair of swords called Ferrero's Rapiers. And these are probably the best swords in the game. At the very least, the best rapiers that you can get, which is pretty crazy considering you can get these right away at the start of the game. They are rare, so you're missing the legendary effect that legendary weapons have. But I mean, how often are those like really necessary? Most of them are overkill or just used for very obscure things like specific enemy types or give you health. And it's like, is the game really that hard where you constantly need health and you just want to make it even easier than it already feels? I don't know, I guess it's up to you, but these deal so much damage that it easily makes up for not having a legendary effect. They deal 38 damage, which is the highest that any sword can deal in here, and it's also got the maximum amounts of chain takedowns on it, which is 4. These are some crazy swords, dude. All you have to do to get them is head to an unmarked island found south of Nassau, more so south of Andreas Island, kind of in the triangle here between the island, the shipwreck underwater diving area, and the bull shark harpooning activity. If you're approaching the island, you'll see some smoke coming out of it, and if you hop off of your ship and head on to the island, it's just a random shop here set up, almost looking like an ordinary general store that you'd see in any other location, except it's just this guy. He'll sell you quite a few items, one of them being this pair of swords. But the coolest thing that this secret trader sells is the legendary skeleton crew called the Deceased Crew that turns all of your shipmates into skeletons. It's probably the coolest thing that you can get in this game, in my opinion at least. To purchase it, you need 206 bones, which if that's a random number to you, it's how many bones you have in your skeleton, or at least how many bones most adults should have. But yeah, you might remember the skeleton crew from the original, but it's pretty sick. I just wish there was a lot more secret stuff like this in the game that you could find. And like I said, it does cost quite a bit of bones, 206. If you don't know how to get bones, you can either hunt, which all of the hunting spots respawn, so you can fast travel around and just farm up some bones by hunting animals all day, or you upgrade the Fisherman's Wharf, which you should definitely upgrade this anyways. Once you unlock the hideout in Sequence 3, upgrade the Fisherman's Wharf as soon as possible. This will allow you to purchase bones with money. And in my opinion, money is a lot easier to come by than any of the resources, including bones. It might help you out if you have the exotic seashells trinket, although I don't think I've ever noticed it give you more bones necessarily, usually more pelts, or whatever resource that animal drops besides bones. But it is still extremely useful for that reason. It'll save you a ton of time farming animals, and you can loot it super early on in Havana. I think it was actually my first trinket, but it's found in the chest at 214 568. Loot the chest, you get the exotic seashells trinket. Probably the trinket that I had on the most throughout the game. And as soon as you get to your hideout, if you upgrade the Fisherman's Wharf, who's found at the very end of the dock, it's hard to even notice this guy's here at first, but repairing that will double the amount of resources that you get from fishing or harpooning for sea creatures. So combined with the exotic seashells, you are getting quadruple the amount. So you get 4 bones or whatever resource that sea creature is dropping, killer whale skin, hammerhead, or great white shark bones. You get 4 every time, which is pretty crazy. They also sell a legendary pistol that you can only get here at this secret trader, a black market vendor, but sadly it's pretty underwhelming. It'll defeat any non-boss captain in a single shot. Those are the special enemies that you run into all the time that are on every single ship that you board. You know, they're the captain. And I mean, this pistol does have its uses. Being able to quick shot captains to automatically get rid of them is nice. It's just that you can headshot them to do this already, or you can quick shot them without this pistol, and the only difference is that you have to push a button to take them down. So they're fine, it's just that in comparison to some of the other pistols, it's just not that amazing. I guess the coolest thing to me is just that you now got the Captain Drake's complete set if you've already got the armor and the swords. But I did just remember that the Wooden Eyeball legendary trinket allows you to one-shot brute enemies. So if you do use this legendary pistol, or if you don't, you've also got this legendary trinket to make it even better, to where you're now one-shotting captains and brutes, which are the 2 most common special enemy types that you'll run into, and will kind of sometimes annoy you. If you've got both of those, I mean, the combat's even more easy mode. You get the Wooden Eyeball legendary trinket from the restored preserved treasure map. To get that, you need 4 preserved map pieces, which you get from looting warehouses. Warehouses are marked on the map from the early game. Nassau even has one, and there are actually like 9 of them total spread across the map. You don't get these from looting the warehouse the first time, but you get it from looting the warehouse the second time. So you might want to get on this because you can't loot them again for 2 hours. After you loot it the first time, you can actually just keep farming the same warehouse if you want to. You don't have to get the map pieces from all separate warehouses. But if you're having trouble finding these, if you have discovered a location and uncovered the map in that area that does have a warehouse, you can open up your map, click on the legend, which you can see the prompt for at the bottom of the screen. But what I didn't realize for the longest time is that you can go over here and click any of these and locate all of the locations that you have uncovered. So you can go to warehouses and scroll through all of those and just loot those until you get the map pieces. The restored preserved map will take you over to Sacrifice Island at the coordinates 14554. The treasure can be found along the northwestern coastline of Sacrifice Island, just under this carved out mountain archway. This treasure won't just give you the wooden eyeball legendary trinkets, but the legendary outfit, the shade and shadow robes. I think it's a pretty dang cool outfit. I just never found this treasure until I pretty much almost 100% of the game. Oh yeah, if you want the matching set to Captain Drake's legendary pistol, first off we have the legendary armor, Captain Drake's outfit. You can find it on Sacrifice Island, just off of the coast, or if you go into Observe, you should be able to see a silver glimmer, and you can dive into the ocean where you can find Captain Drake's outfit in this secret underwater chest. I mean, it's really not so secret since it does come from a marked secret chest, but I mean, the game does call it a secret, and you might not find this for yourself till the end of the game unless you choose to come over here and fully loot this place. And this is probably my favorite outfit in the game, at least out of the legendary outfits. I just love how it looks. It looks kind of pirate-ish, kind of assassin. It's awesome. Captain Drake's rapier is also found at that same location on Sacrifice Island, up on the actual land over on the opposite side of the island. I'm coming from the southern end of the island here, where you can take this parkour path all along the edge. There's multiple ways to get here, but you'll find a secret chest in a hidden little cave area, which gives you Captain Drake's rapier. It's pretty strong for a pair of rare swords. It's got 38 damage, but it only has 2 takedowns for its chain takedown total, and obviously no legendary enhancements since it's a rare sword. It's a lot like Ferrero's rapier that we got from the secret black market vendor, just with 2 takedowns instead of 4, and still really dang strong. Plus you can also get this weapon whenever you want, and it doesn't cost money. You can come here and get it super early. One of the only trinkets that I missed for the longest time is the Guardian Beast legendary trinket. This allows you to slowly regenerate health outside of combat, but you get it from the Dry Tortuga map of Shipwreck, a treasure map. But the reason it's hard to even find this map though is because you have to be over here near the docks in Havana, which I guess I just never came near these docks, or at least didn't get close enough, because you do have to walk like right up here in order for it to spawn. But when it does, you should see a local event pop up called Smelly Sailors, where you can read a note on top of this chest giving you the map of the shipwreck, which is also a treasure map for Dry Tortuga. It is a completely unmarked island in Dry Tortuga at 356701. This is where you can go underwater and find a secret chest containing the Guardian Beast trinket.
Oh, there's that rank fruit again. The spoils must be underwater.
The Folded Palms trinket isn't quite as secret as the Red Bull Stormrunner pendant trinket is, but it's still pretty dang easy to miss. You can find it in Havana, sort of off of the coast, on one of the northern docks, just in front of the fort. This is where you can find a French captain looking guy.
A shiny little keepsake. I had to take it. Gold that should be ours.
If you pickpocket him or assassinate him, you will get the Folded Palm rare trinket, which gives you reals or money for every takedown that you perform. Over on Cat Island, you'll eventually have a main story quest to come over here and loot the warehouse. Inside of the building, off over towards the edge of the area, if you head up to the 2nd floor and climb through a window near the secret chest, you'll get the option to interact with a book. And you might end up skipping over it because it's just a book, but if you look on top of it, it actually gives you the Narwhal's Horn trinket, which lets you break enemy defenses faster. With a strong sword, like the one we had with the Black Market Vendor, or Captain Drake's rapier, or whatever your strongest sword is, you're gonna tear through enemy defenses. Or you could mix it in with something like the Lock of Hair trinket, so you're healing when you perfect parry. Now you've got even more of a reason to perfect parry and still deal a ton of damage to their defenses in between with the Narwhal's Horn trinket. You get the Lock of Hair trinket after completing the Wayward Soul's Rift, which is the first Animus Rift that you'll unlock. You get a few different items like trinkets and legendary swords from the 4 secret rifts that pop up around the map, and they are completely unmarked and only become marked when you get really close to them. And they only pop up in the game at specific points, all of them after specific specific story missions and sequences. Plus, some of them you have to backtrack to areas that you might not even otherwise head back to, so especially if you like to explore a lot before the story, you'll easily miss some of these. Like the very first rift, the Wayward Souls Rift, which rewards you with the Lock of Hair Trinket, is found over on Great Inagua Island on the south end of the island, over where you start when you first come here in the story. If you didn't find all of the collectibles back then, or before this was unlocked, then you might not miss this one, but it's here, or at least it becomes available after you get here in Sequence 4. After you complete Sequence 8, you can come over to Nassau, well, more off of the coast of Nassau, just on this little separate island, and this is where you can find your second rift, called Wayward Desires, and after you complete it, you'll be rewarded with Blackbeard's legendary ship wheel. The same thing goes for the third rift. You can come over to Sacrifice Island, just along the coast on this little peninsula area of Sacrifice Island, and this is where you'll find the Wayward Mines rift, as long as you come here after, I think, Sequence 11. It's all through story progress. This one's after Sequence 11, which is towards the end of the game. And after completing the entire game, you've seen the credits roll and all of that, and you played through the whole story, you can find the True Purpose Rift on this lone island out towards the very bottom left-hand corner of the map, just east of the Mayan ruins, with the coordinates being 363, 176. Completing this final rift will reward you with the Dark Animus Corsair Pistol Swords, a legendary set of pistol swords that deals 38 damage, only has a maximum chain takedown limit of 2, but comes with the legendary effect or perk where if you kill an enemy, it also damages any other nearby enemies. Oh yeah, after completing the game and having most of the activities in the game done, one of the biggest things that I was still wondering was how to get the yellowed treasure map pieces. And it's because to get these, they're just random rewards from Kenway's fleet missions, exclusively from the trade missions, the ones marked with the scale icon, which means you can only get the yellowed map pieces from having schooners in your fleet and just hoping that these trade missions have a yellowed treasure map piece when you do. It is totally random for these yellowed treasure map pieces to pop up on trade missions, so you just gotta keep on sending them, wait until you see one, and do that 10 times. The odds greatly increase if you go around and acquire a fort in each region, since there's a trade mission in each region, and those only pop up after you clear a fort in that area. Once you do that though, you'll be able to send 5 schooners out on 5 different trade missions to farm these as fast as you can, since you do need 10 map pieces for the yellowed treasure map. The good thing is that you can kind of cheat for this if you want to. You've still got to farm for the map pieces, but when you've sent some ships out on missions and they have returned, they're just waiting for you to receive their report and get whatever rewards they've brought back. Just before you receive the report, go ahead and save the game. Now you can go ahead and receive the report, and now you can send your ships on different trade missions, but before you do, check if any of them will reward you with a treasure map piece, and if they don't, just load back to that last manual save that you made, make sure you don't load the autosave, and now you can receive the report again. After you receive the report, that's when it chooses what missions are going to randomly spawn on the map. So you can keep doing this over and over again until a yellowed treasure map piece pops up as a reward on one of those trade missions in Kenway's fleet. After you have a whopping 10 yellowed treasure map pieces, you can take them to the treasure dealer found at your hideout in Great Inagua, and he'll be able to restore it. Now skip ahead if you want to find the treasure for yourself, but the restored yellow map will lead you to Black Island with the coordinates 915, 617. This will lead you to the upper right-hand corner of the island, the northeastern coastline, where you can find the Obsidian sails and the legendary ship wheel, the Helm of the Night Owl. But yeah, that's it. See ya.
Easy.